Welcome to Alea Axis. Let's go train a model. Head over to training, general training. Let's make some data. One feature, one target. Let's go ahead and square these inputs. Make some labels, regression task, and we're ready to submit the data. Let's go to K-folds, go ahead and make those, and head over to the model. We're just going to do a couple dense layers. The final dense needs to have the same shape as our targets. Let's have some activations and no activation for the final layer. Let's build the model, head over to parameters, let's do mean squared error and just a couple metrics. Let's compile the model. To make things go faster, I'm going to go ahead and adjust a couple of these settings. And let's head over to the training page. Once we click Start Training, everything will just happen for us. Every single fold will train a model with the same initial weights, and we can monitor the progress, or we can go do something else. This one's going pretty fast, so we should go ahead and see how things went. Everything's looking good. This is the evaluation for each fold. Everything looks great there, and then our final metrics also look great. So what just happened? Let's reset the model and let's go back to the data step. Now, as you saw, there's 5 panels that we have to do to train a model. And if you have a small screen, you can go ahead and make them disappear, but you can navigate with these icons. You can also move this away. This just gives you some information about the current panel. We're going to go ahead and ignore this data upload option and focus on these 3 ways to get data into this website. So we can provide data. This is for tabular data or images. If you have data that doesn't fit those descriptions, you then have to go to the JSON option over here. As you saw, we just generated data. We did a regression task, but we could have done a classification task, and that's also tabular data up to 10 features. So this would be 10 columns of data. Or we can go ahead and get some MNIST data, 1,000 images to play with. Let's go ahead and look at this provide data some more. Let's see what it looks like when we have a text file. So this is the iris dataset, which is a very common dataset to practice with. Apparently, it's a pretty simple dataset. There's 3 classes, 50, at least in what I downloaded, there were 50 of each class. And as you can see, we have 4 columns of inputs, and this is already correct. So we're going to go ahead and leave it to what it was. And our label is the 5th column. So we're going to leave this as well. There's no header row. That would be something that tells you like what feature it is here. So we're not going to click that. And these are numbers. So we're going to click numerical. And these are words. So we're going to click categorical. And we're going to process the data. And let's just see if it processed correctly. Yeah, we had 4 columns. Now we have 4 comma separated values. And our labels got 1 hot for us. So that's great. Let's go ahead and submit that data. And before we had a regression task, if you were paying close attention, and now we have a multi-class classification task. Multi-class because we have 3 classes. If you have 2 classes, it's going to default to binary. And it tells us the target shape, 3, and the input shape. Okay, everything's looking good. And now this data download option appeared. So if that was too much work to process the columns, you can download your data, and next time you come to the website, you can just upload that JSON formatted data and skip this entire process. Now, this new option just appeared, classes. So this is k-fold stratification. We didn't have classes when we did a regression task, but now we have classes. So let's go ahead and click that. And we again make our folds. And it tells us over here how many folds we made and whether we have validation or not. Validation, sometimes people refer to their held out data as the validation data, but I'm referring to the held out data as our test data. It's never seen during training. And I refer to validation as the data that's going to be used for early stopping. We're just going to use the training data as early stopping, but in a lot of cases, you'll want to use a validation set. Now, our model is actually still here from before, but we have to make some changes. If we try to build the model, we get a little message. Our output shape does not match our target data. So let's change that. And now the model builds successfully. You can download the layers, which is just the data that the website needs to construct this user interface, or you can download the model. This is a TensorFlow function that gets called. It's a save model. So you can actually save it and then convert it to a Python TensorFlow model if you wanted to. So let's go ahead and go to parameters. Now, before we had regression options, but now we have one option, softmax cross entropy, which is what we need for a multi-class classification. And let's go ahead and just do accuracy for the metric. Let's compile that. I'm not sure what I should select for these. Let's just go with the defaults. I think this is a pretty easy task, so let's just see what happens. The good news is if your parameters are a little bit off, you can just stop training, reset, and then go back one step. And let's see how we did. So let's look at the accuracy. Oh, looking good. That's train, though. You can easily overfit. So we have to look at our eval. And actually, test is looking really good as well. And our overall test metrics are down here as well. So this was a really easy task to do. Okay, so that just about covers the basics. I think in future videos, I'll go into more depth on some of the different steps and things to keep in mind. I hope you find this site useful.